Who made this? Oh, I did. Wow. I'm gonna cry. It's a masterpiece. That should get an Emmy. That should get a Tony. All of it. And that still wouldn't be enough for what that was. Chef Wonderful here. Let's talk about souvlaki. You know what that is? It's a sandwich. A sandwich. I learned all about it when I was a teenager living on the island of Cyprus, Nicosia, Cyprus, the capital. I went to a British boarding school for many years, and this is what we had every day for lunch. I fell in love with it. Now, you may want to ask yourself something, but wait, before we start, just a shameless promotion to O'Leary Chardonnay. Did I tell you I won 5 awards for this? Yeah, I did. Yeah, but it's fantastic, chef. And you can get it at qvc.com. I know, shameless promotion, but let me have a sip. Fantastic. So, you know these stories about the Mediterranean diet, the Mediterranean lifestyle, Mediterranean foods? Well, it's true because people live till they're over 100 years old on these islands. Why? Why do they live so long? Diet, exercise, no question about it, lifestyle, less stress. They walk everywhere. We're talking about 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 steps before 9 o'clock in the morning. 20,000 steps all day long. That's what we're talking about, up and down the mountains. But it's the food they eat, the veggies, all the healthy stuff. Lamb, pork, beef, chicken, no hormones. We're talking about island raised, but the point is, I want to go back to this sandwich. We're going to try a souvlaki sandwich. Pita bread is involved. We're going to get that later. All these amazing vegetables, fantastic virgin olive oils. Now, the thing about virgin olive oil, what does that mean? It means the olive never went out on a date. Was picked off the tree, never dated, straight into oil. Yeah, it's tragic, but sacrificed its life without ever dating for fantastic, very healthy oil, which is very much part of what we're going to do here today. So we're going to start with these pork cutlets. Now, if you don't eat pork, for whatever reason, I understand, you can substitute chicken, okay? But the classic souvlaki sandwich is made with pork and lots of fat on a skewer, barbecued, then put into the sandwich with lots of interesting ingredients. Oh, another sip of chard. Oh, Chihuahua, that's good. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Okay, let's get to work.
The only reason I, Mr. Wonderful, have time to search for the rare vermilion flycatcher is because my companies have already received money from the Employee Retention Credit Program. Go to wondertrust.com to see if your business qualifies today.
So, what do I have here? Pork cutlets. I've said this many times. Don't be a dork. Put pork on your fork. Pork is a very healthy white meat. There's no reason not to eat it unless you have reasons you can't, and I get it. However, for this dish, we're going to enjoy some pork on our fork. We're going to cube it to prepare it for the skewer. Then we're going to marinate it. I'm going to show you how to make the marinade, which is very, very important. Doesn't have to be in that long. We want the moisture, the jus, to make it just perfect. So we're going to take our blade. We're looking for sort of 1-inch cubes. All right, you're going to go to work on it. Make these cubes because you've got to remember you're going to be making these cubes for the sandwich. So you're going to be putting them in and people want bite size. They want to be able to eat them. So they're not too big. So the 3/4 by 3/4 cubes is the way to go. There's a harmony in making it, and you're keeping the fat because you're going to put those between the actual cubes of pork. All right, you want tender pork on your fork. Let's put them in here while we're waiting because we're going to marinate them. Keeping the fat as available because we're going to be using it between because we want the fat to burn on the BBQ to give it that flavor. Perfect. There we go. By the way, watch your dexters. Always want. You know what I say about cooking? People say to me, "Oh, Chef Wonderful, why don't you ever cut your fingers?" Because I'm watching what I'm doing. That's why. Keep your eye on the blade all the time. Chefs cut their fingers off when they're not watching what they're doing. You never see me talking to the camera when I'm cutting through something. I'm stroking forward, but I'm keeping my eye on the blade all the time. Otherwise, bad things can happen. You don't want that. Take it from Chef Wonderful, all right? Back to what I was saying. Notice the eyes to the blade. So, stroke forward, make the cut. We said 3/4. Keeping my eye on the blade, making the cut. Yes, indeed. Always watching the blade in action into the bowl. That's not so hard, right? And it's safety first. Absolutely. Oh, Chardonnay break. Oh, that's good. So 5 awards for the chard, unoaked chard, beautiful. Where can you get it? QVC.com, and we include shipping under $11 a bottle. Fantastic. I've got Pinot, I've got Cab, but today, because we're pre-cooking, it's a beautiful day outside, we're enjoying a little Chardonnay, exactly. You can also think about Chardonnay as America's white, because we make it in Sonoma and Napa. Fantastic. Now remember, back to the blade, keeping my eye on it, stroking forward. Beautiful. Cutting the pork, because it'll be on the fork, and keeping the fat, not discarding the fat, because we're thinking ahead to when we're going to barbecue it, and we want that fat to melt and give us that smoky flavor that we're going to be looking for on the pork, on the skewer. You see? Cutting just perfectly into those little cubes. Now remember, you're going to shrink this pork, even though it's not that fatty, by about 20%. So you want that bite size. So that's a perfect size. That's a perfect size right there. See, it's going to shrink 20%. So don't worry about it. Why do I know that? Because I've done this 1,000 times before. I'm giving you the souvlaki secret. The secret of the souvlaki sandwich. By the way, what's so great about this? You can make this, prepare the pork early, leave it in the fridge for 3 to 4 days. Guests come over, you can whip up a beautiful sandwich in 2 seconds. The kids love this. The neighbors love it. Everyone's always asking me, oh, can I have a souvlaki? Well, no kidding. It's fantastic. Here we go. I always think about ingredients as being in a conversation. If they're too small, they don't get to be part of it. If they're too big, they're arrogant and insolent. But if they're just the right size, they can be really enjoyed by others. You can use pork chops. You want to cut it off the bone. You want some fat and some tenderness. Talk to your butcher wherever you get it, or get pork cutlets from the grocery store. Try and make them at least 3/4 of an inch thick. So, what are the ingredients to marinate the pork to give it the extra jus that you want? By the way, we're going to be getting into some cukes later. I always say with cukes, people buy these big cucumbers. No, don't do that. They're not crunchy. You want small cukes. They give you the texture. How you're talking about. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with some virgin olive oil. All right? You can find virgin olive oil in many places. Remember, these are olives that never went on a date. From the tree right to the oil. They sacrificed their whole relationships. No dates. Imagine, they're just pining to get off the tree to meet another olive. No, write it in the bottle. A moment of silence to respect them. A virgin olive oil is made from virgin olives. They never dated. Okay, so we have it. So we're taking some onto the, be liberal. If you're putting the olive oil onto the pork, came off before it went on the fork. Got it. Now here's the secret. This is the secret of all Mediterranean life. The lemon, the citrus. You know why? Lemon trees grow everywhere in Cyprus. Everybody has lemon trees in their backyard. They don't pay for lemons. They have them for free. More lemons than you could throw a stick at every day. There's just walk outside, grab a lemon. That's how it works. That's what lemon is all about. It's the essence of life. It extends your life. Now, can't do that in North America. Make sure you get big, beautiful, ripe lemon, the citron. All right? You're going to cut your lemon in half. Don't worry about if it has seeds in it. People know what seeds look like. You're going to squeeze it right into the marinade. All right? There you're doing it. You're squeezing the juice right in here. You're going to do maybe 3 of these just with your hands, feel and smell that citrus oil. Just beautiful. That reminds me of the oceans lapping on the rocks in Karinya Harbor in Cyprus. Yeah, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. This is what cooking is all about, bring back those memories, okay? Another lemon, that's not enough. You really want this citrus to be part of the story on this marinade, okay? Because you can put it in the fridge overnight if you want. We don't have to do that now, but I'm just giving you the secret of how we're gonna do this. So 2 lemon in here. There's no magic to this, how much lemon juice, but you really want it out there. You want it on here because it's gonna come in again as part of this story, all right? There we have it, the lemon. All right, now, yes, kosher salt. I happen to like that. Just a tad. You don't need too much. You don't need too much. Fresh ground pepper, may we? Yeah, right there. Perfect. That's what I'm talking about. Be liberal. And then the Mediterranean secret that so people just go crazy for. So many people go crazy for, but they don't know what it is. Za'atar. What is za'atar? Za'atar is a Mediterranean spice, thousands of years old, sesame seeds, baked and crushed. My mother taught me this. This is the secret of everything. I love za'atar. No, it's not a pepper. It's sesame seeds. It just makes everything perfect. Now, we've got the juice, we have the meat, we have the za'atar, the salt, the pepper. We're liberal. We're putting it out there. That's correct. We want to make sure the meat is basically marinated so it can have some moisture to it. Just a little secret. All the street vendors who make souvlaki in Nicosia, Cyprus have their own secrets they don't disclose. I'm disclosing because I want you to try this. You can't believe how good this is. You cannot believe how good this is. So you got to go to work. You got to get your skewers out. You can't pan fry this. You have to put it on a skewer. Now you also, with skewers, you want to make sure you don't zap yourself. You got to be careful. You put a little fat on there too. Keep your fingers out of the way. So you can do it by just poking down first and then pushing on the edges of the meat. Do not skewer yourself. You've got to be careful. Over time, you'll learn how to do this, but there's just the meat and the fat on this because we want to cook it in a way that gets it smoked. That's the key, all right? So I'm putting on liberal amounts of fat because I know that's going to burn and drip. That's perfect. Look, here's a big slab of fat, no problem, because that'll smoke the meat beside it. Very important, part of the Cypriot secret. You see, that's about enough. See that? It's about enough. 10 inches, 9 inches. So that's one. Put it on the plate over here. And then we're going to go for the next one. I was telling my wife earlier we're going to make souvlaki. She said, "Oh, I love it. I love it. What a great summer, dinner." Yeah, absolutely. It's what I feel like doing. And I wanted to share it with you. I haven't done this before with you, but I make this all the time. There's a certain zen to cooking. And I've said this so many times. You get in the groove. The minutes go by. Your mind is consumed with making great food for friends and family. I highly recommend this. If you have a stressed out job and you're doing, I'm thinking about finance and business and deals and all the stuff, and I think about cooking. What I'm saying is there's a balance. There's a zen, there's a yin and there's a yang. The chaos and the artistry of cooking, of the dexterity and all the oil and butter, sugar, flour, lemon, all the stuff you're working with. These are ancient, primordial, the basics of food. Nothing to do with the balance sheet at all. But I think it makes you a better businessman if you can actually do both. You get the artistry, you get the zen, you get the calming effect. Your Saturday afternoon, you're skewering fat, pork fat on a skewer. Why not? Why don't you do that? Why just worry about money all the time? You don't have to. if you don't worry about it all day, you'll make more. That's my theory, okay? You've got to have the balance. When you're doing the skewers, by the way, leave enough room so it cooks on the edges, because you're going to brown those edges. That's the key. All right, we're going to get probably 2 more out of this, and then we're going to hit the grill, the grille. And that's the art of keeping your eye. You know, people do not spend enough time close to the barbecue. Now, you can do this with charcoal. I've done that many times. But tonight we're going to use a grill outside that I've already got stoked up. Perfect. Art, right there. Piece of art. So what do we got? Well, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's enough for 6 sandwiches. We're going to serve 6 people if we wanted to. And we can also store them. Oh, the za'atar. Little secret here. You know what I'm going to do? Throw a little bit of za'atar just before I put on the... Yeah, baby. Just a little bit extra there. I'll tell you a little secret, too. I don't know if you know this one. Maldon sea salt. Huge salt crystals. Now, I don't endorse this because I don't want too much salt in my food, but they're so big. I'm going to sneak on a little bit of this. Just a little bit. They'll fall off during the grilling, but everybody's got their own little thing, and that's a friend of mine gave me that secret, and I really liked it. I did it on steak. It was fantastic. Okay, put the za'atar away for now. Don't want it to go stale. Keep it out of the air. Remember, it's sesame seeds. Little sip of Chardonnay. Okay, let's go to the grill. So, we're putting them beside each other. We're going to be rotating a lot. See that? Putting them beside each other. That's the key. Oh, beautiful. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, it's going to stick to the grill a bit, but there's so much olive oil on it, you don't have to worry about it too much. You know, get a spatula to make it easy for us. This room is half indoors, half outdoors. Screens with a beautiful view of the lake, if you look right over there. Look at that. Isn't that fantastic? What a great place to cook a little souvlaki. Yeah, baby. Great, many, many memories at this dining room table. Okay, here we go. So, that's perfect. Lift it off, rotate it. Same for the, oh my goodness, that cue is hot and that's good. Right there. Perfect, perfect, perfect. That's what I'm talking about. Souvlaki right there. So you want that. You see what I'm talking about there? That little crispy, that little, it's burning a little, not burning, but it's getting browned out. That's what you want. You want that all around the edges of the pork. That gives it the personality you're going to need in the sandwich. You're going to want that. And it's going to shrink. It's shrinking even as we speak. These little guys are shrinking as we speak. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Yes, see, the fat is burning, giving it the flavor. That's what we're looking for. This is all about the Mediterranean lifestyle. Eating great food, great vegetables, olive oil, beautiful wines, walking every day. Stay alive, you're 109. What's wrong with that? Caramba! This guy, look at that. He's cooked. This guy's the only guy that needs a little bit more. Last hanger on. And we are absolutely finished. Hear that fan stoke up? Look at that, baby. Oh yeah, oh yeah. We're ready to make the souvlaki sandwich.
I'm Mr. Wonderful, and I'm bird watching. The only reason I have time to search for the rare vermilion flycatcher is because my companies have already received money from the Employee Retention Credit Program. Filing for that money takes a lot of time. Time I'd rather spend doing what I love, like waiting for a glimpse of a red-legged honey creeper. Gotcha, buddy. So do what I did. Go to wondertrust.com to see if your business qualifies for up to $26,000 per employee.
We've got the souvlaki on a skewer. We've got the vegetables. We've got the olives. So the whole idea of the souvlaki sandwich is blending together great pork, in a sandwich with pita. So the way you're going to do this with pita bread, standard Mediterranean, you're going to cut it in half, make a pita pocket. See that? Very important. You're going to put in various, everybody has their own theory of what they're going to put in here. Let me tell you what we're going to put in today. We're going to put in some lettuce. We're going to put in some cukes. You want small cukes, not big cukes. You want the crunch. You take the tips off each end. You have the cuke, watching your dexters again, right? You get half moons. Just like that. Throw it in the sandwich. Oh, yeah. Now, you want a radish. Big, juicy radish. Mediterranean radish, okay? Gives you color, gives you texture, gives you flavor. Don't make it too big. You half the radish. Little half moons. Again, you want bite size, right? See that what I'm doing? So, little radish action into the pita pocket. Tomato is an absolute necessity, but you want a tomato with texture. It's not going to fall apart. So, your smaller tomate is the way to go. Into cubes. Take the ends off, of course. You know, you can get all kinds of different tomatoes. But look what I'm doing here. Look how it stays together. And then I'm doing little demi-moons. Watch this. Cubes. Cube it out, baby. Cube it out. Tomate. The artistry. Ready? Parsley. Wash your parsley first, as I've done. Now you can get all kinds of different parsleys. I'm using, parsley is so important that I'm using 2 different varietals. But, see that? I'm really chopping it up lightly. Bunch and crunch. Oh, that Mediterranean, oh my goodness, so just a sprinkling of parsley in there, yeah, baby. And then I'm also going to do a little curly parsley. Stop the madness, look at this. I want the extra texture. In it goes, into the pita. We're not done yet though, because we need the pork. Perfect. I've cooked it perfectly. So you take the pork off, skewer, with the fat, everything's coming off. Got that? See that? You're gonna put this on the top of the sandwich. You're having a lemon ready, and you'll tell you why in a second. Okay? So what we're gonna do is we're taking the pita pocket. We're putting little chunks of pork on the top, just like that. You want the crunch, a little fat in there, a little parsley. And then, yeah, you got it. The secret of za'atar, the ancient Mediterranean spice that my mother taught me about, which I put a little bit right on top on one piece of pork. Then, this is the real secret. Just before you take the first bite, you put on a little lemon, fresh lemon, right off the garden, right out of the garden. You squeeze it on like that. We used to do this every day, just before we went back to class. A little lemon juice right on top. A little parsley on there. Oh my goodness. And you ready? Are you ready? Here we go. Oh! Whoa! Who made this? Oh, I did. Wow! I'm gonna cry. It's a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. Are you kidding? Are you friggin' kidding? That is the best souvlaki anybody's ever made. I mean, I don't want to take credit for it. I think a higher force was involved. You know, the famous waves from Cyprus got involved in making this. There has to be. There's no way this is not a human sandwich. This came from outer space. This is ridiculously good. Stop the madness. Do exactly what I did to make this sandwich. Don't change anything. Whatever I did to make this sandwich, it's perfect. don't mess with it. Do exactly, when I put the salt on or the za'atar, do the exact same thing. It does not get better than what we just ate. And that is how you make a souvlaki sandwich. My friends, please enjoy.